everyone, I'm Chas with Chas's Crazy Creations, and thank you for being here. This is really exciting. This is our first live on our own, and we are just really happy to give this a shot. So today we are going to be cleaning my kitchen, which, trust me, I did not pre-clean it. It is in need of some love. I'm sure many of your kitchens are as well after having the holidays and your kids home for a couple weeks and whatnot too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over some easy ways to clean with things that you have in your own house, like dish soap, vinegar, and baking soda. And this really can be used all over your whole house, and so we'll be going over that as well. My website, which we will be putting in the comments shortly here, that already has a post up about how to clean your bathroom with these products. And then tomorrow, my post will go up about this kitchen specifically, and we will link this live to it so you can have that in case you want to reference it later, or share it on your page now if you're interested. So if you're excited to be here with me, send me likes, send me hearts, and let's get started. Woohoo! Okay, so we're gonna start with, let's start with vinegar first. So my favorite way to start with vinegar is to just take it and fill it up inside this, just a squirt bottle. Any squirt bottle would do. Some people like to dilute it. I like to do it straight up. And of course there are different concentrates, so it's really kind of up to you. Vinegar is so great. It's the acidity inside the vinegar that's going to be doing a lot of the work. So those of you who have not done this, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Spray it on your weeds outside, super cheap, works, kills those weeds. And again, it all has to do with the higher concentrated acidity in it, but it will kill those weeds for you, and you will not be spending a ton of money on those other products that can add up and cost a lot of money. So I'm gonna need to use just any dish rag is good, and we've got a squirt bottle, and I'm gonna ask my daughter to help pan over with me. She's multitasking so she can get those links up for you. We're gonna first talk about the backsplashes here. So you don't have to get too close because otherwise they'll be eating the backsplash. But all you're gonna do is you're just gonna squirt the vinegar onto your backsplash. Now you probably couldn't see it, but you know, we had, gosh, it was probably bacon is gonna be my guess. And there were some grease splatters that I left just to show, but I wasn't sure if they'd show up on this show. Dry or damp, doesn't matter, it's your choice. And all you're gonna do is just start wiping that up. And you're gonna wipe up your whole thing. Don't forget, this one goes all the way up, but if you have a ledge, clean your ledge off too because they get dusty. And I can't tell if you see my back of my head, I'm sorry. But this is your backsplash. This is also gonna work inside your shower. So if you have tile showers, bathtubs, that kind of stuff, this is gonna work on all of those as well. So really simple. Use a sponge, use a scrub pad. If you've got a lot of grease you want to work with, as I move, you can use these little scrub pads too, or the sponges that have these on them, and then they'll scrub off that stuff as well. Like this is more one of the sponge type with this is what I use in my showers, but on my backsplash I just use this. So there you go, one way to use vinegar just to clean your backsplash. So if you like that, please send likes, please send hearts. Let's talk toilets really fast while we're here. Just spray it on your toilet. Use disposable or wash with rags, your choice. And just go ahead and wipe your toilets up. And then inside, squirt inside the bowl. And then go ahead and scrub it with a toilet cleaner, toilet brush. That's it. The acidity kills all the germs, so it's fantastic that way. Let's talk about our microwave. So for the microwave, we always try to teach everybody how to cover your stuff inside your microwave so it doesn't splatter everywhere. All right, send me likes if you've had to deal with the splatters before. Send those hearts and likes out if you've had to deal with that. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you have a tip to share with us, please put it in the comments. I will read all the comments and I will answer any questions you might have. And I forgot to say, where are you watching from? Put in the comments where you're watching from too. I always like to know that. So, to do our microwave, first, I'm gonna go this direction. You can stay there and just pan over. You're gonna go over here, and I just have a bowl, and you're gonna go with a half a cup to a cup of water. It really just depends upon like how hot your microwave runs. Everybody's wattages are a little different. So that's about a half a cup to a cup of water. Now I'm gonna take my vinegar, I'll move the baking soda, I'm gonna do about the same thing, 1/2 cup to a cup of vinegar. Again, it's gonna be the acidity that's working. And then, just for more scent, but acidity and acidity with acidity. We'll be talking a little bit about that too. Just like about a tablespoon or so of lemon juice. And that's just more, I think, for aroma than anything, but it is more acidity in there. And you maybe could use straight up lemon juice instead of vinegar if you want, but I know the vinegar is probably a little stronger. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bowl and we're gonna stick it in that microwave. And again, depending upon the wattages of your microwave, you will need to go anywhere from 7 to 10-ish minutes. You'll have to give it a try. Mine is a really actual high-powered one, so I usually only need 7, so I won't really let it run as long as 10. And we're just gonna let that go. And what that's gonna do is create a bunch of steam in there, and it's just gonna start working away all the grease and the splatters that were in there. So while that's going, let's go over here and talk about stainless steel appliances a little bit. So this is stainless steel. This is gonna work for your regular appliances, those of you who don't have stainless steel too. We're gonna start with vinegar, but if you have stainless steel, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what to do with that too. So, Brielle, you will probably wanna take that off the tripod. So we'll get a little bumpy for a little bit here, so we apologize for that. A little hard to hold steady hands while we're doing stuff. We're gonna come over here to my dishwasher. That's probably gonna be the best one to show all of this on. So as I said, I didn't clean. I did this in specific, so as you see, there's a bunch of drip marks and there's smears just from time. And so I'm just gonna take the vinegar. If you're not a fan of the vinegar, you can also use dish soap. But you're just gonna spray that. This is just to get rid of all the crud that is on your stainless steel appliances. So we're just gonna wipe all that up. Get rid of all the stuff. And that is really, if you have any sort of appliance, like say yours are white or black or whatever, that's just to get all the junk off. So now, as you can see, it already looks much, much better. But if you have stainless steel, it's a dry metal. So a lot of people struggle with, how do I clean my stainless steel? Or maybe you don't want to buy the over-the-counter products because you're really trying to stay with more green type things. So I'm going to grab just some olive oil. I just get this stuff from World Market. So anyways, here it is, just olive oil, and then a microfiber cloth, and that just came from the dollar store. I'm just gonna take a little of the olive oil, we're gonna pour it in. Where are people watching from?
Don't know.
Oh, the comments aren't coming up or anything this time? Oh, all right. A little technical glitch. I hope it's live. Is it live when you put it on the... Okay. Well, we're hoping it's live. If not, we'll save it. So here it is, just some olive oil. And now the important part is you're nourishing that stainless steel. And it's important to go with the grain. Otherwise, you're going to get funky streak marks later. So you just go up and down with the grain, and you're moisturizing that stainless steel. And then if you get a little extra, like up here, there was just a little extra, just flip that over. All right. So again, if you have any comments or tips on any of this kind of stuff, please share that with each other too. Even when the show is done, put that stuff in there. Everybody likes to watch this stuff even on their own time. I have friends in Iceland and Australia and different places too, and their time zones are different, so they watch it at different times. So go ahead and put anything you want to in the comments. All right, we're gonna clean that up, and then we're gonna move to the next thing, which will be baking soda. And I have oil all over my hands. Sorry, I know we're dancing right now, my daughter and I. All right, so we'll move the vinegar. I'll just move it over here. And let's talk baking soda before we move on to the dish soap. So any sort of baking soda will do. I just put mine in a container like this, so that's easy to work with. I'm gonna flip my cheat sheet so I don't forget to tell you guys anything. So let's start with our sink. Take this out. Where'd I put that scrub pad? Here it is. Scroll over here. It's a little tricky on a tripod to slide it. All right, so usually you want your sink to be a little damp but not soaking wet, so we'll just put a little bit in there. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your baking soda and you're just gonna sprinkle it in there. In the comments, feel free to share what you've used baking soda on. Whoops. And then just with the scrub pad, you can just start scrubbing away to get your sink clean. And this works on any kind of sink. Now the one thing I'll tell you when you're cleaning with baking soda, this one's stainless steel. Someone asked me this recently because I had said don't use baking soda on stainless steel. Baking soda is an abrasive substance, I guess, for the lack of a better word. In your sink though, your sink gets scratched up already, right? You've got silverware and it's meant to be scratched. So I never worry about my stainless sink, but I wouldn't do this to my dishwasher because I don't want to end up with a bunch of scratches all over my dishwasher or my refrigerator. So you can also do this on the bottom of your sinks, that's what we're rocking on, your porcelain sinks or whatever. But what I meant to say was your shower basins and your bathtubs. Now, if you have fiberglass bathtubs, you can use the vinegar spray. That's probably better because fiberglass can scratch, or as long as you use a sponge and you're careful with it. But fiberglass tends to be one that scratches a little bit easier. So you definitely want to be careful with that. So yeah, basins can be done either with baking soda, depending on what they're made out of, or you can use the vinegar solution as well. So you just come in and rinse it off. But this is not going to be perfect. What I love about baking soda is you can get it for so reasonable too. And vinegar as well. Big gallon of vinegar is like $3. All right, so there you go with your sink. We talked about shower basins. Let's talk a little bit about handles and doors. So, you know, how many people do you know, they got dirty hands and they grab this and it's all black? You know, we still actually have, this is our only white appliance still. It's the only thing that hasn't died yet in our kitchen. And then our pantry door, as you see here, is white, and this tends to get all the black and grime too. So again, all you're gonna do is take your little scrub pad or washcloth, your choice. I tend to not get enough water out of here, and then it runs all the way down, so I'm trying to get extra water out. And again, you're just gonna take a little baking soda and put it on there. And then all you're gonna do is go over here, and you're gonna just scrub. Like I said, I'm spraying water everywhere. So washcloth, whatever your choice is, and you're just gonna come in here and scrub that clean. That's it. Baking soda is a base. So when you think chemistry, vinegar, you got acidity. Baking soda is a base. Same thing with your door. You're just gonna scratch at your door and your handles. You can do the baking soda with your handles to get them clean. It's really your choice. Once it's all clean, that's when you're gonna take a clean rag, damp rag, and then just wipe that up. So, just one more place, and not just your kitchen, of course, all over your house, wherever you get those doors, you know, your main doors, they get dirty. So those are a lot of different places that you can use baking soda just to clean up handles or door handles or doors. Especially if you have these masonite doors, they get pretty black. All right, now comes the fun part. Let's talk about your oven. So we're gonna open up my oven here. And I have a self-cleaning oven, but this technique is gonna work inside or on the glass, your choice. The number one thing you're gonna wanna do is take some painter's tape. We have vents right here. Cover them up with tape. I like painter's tape because it comes up really easy. Oops, that was not a good tear. But you're just gonna wanna cover those holes up, otherwise guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get baking soda between your glass windows. And that is just gonna be awful. And that is the number one thing I hear people tell me. And it's true, why do they put the vents there? I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but you're taking a casserole out and it falls in the vents and then you got stuff trapped between your doors. So just cover them up. And some of you have vents on the top. Heck, I'd probably cover those up too, just to be safe. You don't want stuff getting stuck in between there. All right, before we move on, I just heard my microwave end. So we'll open that up. And this is really foggy, so again, now it's all misty in here. So you just take that rag. This is really hot, so I'm gonna carefully set it down here. Most of the water has evaporated. So you're just gonna go in here, really up here. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, Brielle. If you can see that, it's really, that's where a lot of that's an easy spot to see the condensation. But it's all over the microwave. And it just really helps clean those spatters. Or like if you have that really nasty office work microwave, we all have those. This is one really easy way to clean it up so that you'll use it if you want to. And that's it. And that was pretty simple. And it's just water and vinegar and you've got your microwave clean and there was hardly any effort to that at all. So again, anything you like here, please send likes, please send hearts, please share with anybody you think might be interested in doing something like this. So, let me grab some water. All right, so what you're gonna do, tape first for your oven. You're gonna sprinkle baking soda onto your oven. Now, depending upon how bad it is, you'll need more or less. You can always add more too, right? But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna try to make a paste. So we're gonna take some water and we're gonna start squirting it because we want it to be damp. Now, again, depending upon how bad this is, you might wanna let this sit for a little bit so it has time to work a little bit on that. I have my little rags on this side. I've got a damp, dirty rag. These are our rags that we just use to clean things with. But what you're gonna do now is just damp and you're just gonna start circling. Small circles. And can you see that there? I don't know is there a good shot? This is all the grease and drippings that have run down. And so you're just working, just a little bit of elbow grease, but you're just working to get that up. And again, if you have a lot of grease, what you might do first is dish soap. Because grease drippings need a base as well, which this is. But dish soap is a base. And sometimes it breaks through the grease just a little bit better at first. So depending on how bad yours is, you might want to just give it a good dish soap soak. And then scrub that up. And then do this next. So are you getting any comments right now, Brielle, at all? Because if there are any questions, now is a great time to read some of them since I am scrubbing.
I just got one person who said they were watching from Georgia. But
Oh, thanks for watching. So again, just scrubbing. And honestly, like I have not cleaned this since probably, it's scary, I'm sorry, but last January probably was my big last cleaning. And I thought about cleaning it, but I was like, oh, I really want it to still be dirty so that you can see the change. But yeah, you'll just start cleaning it up like that. Working on it. And again, like if I get more baking soda, it really helps kind of break through that. And this works inside your oven as well. So you can go around, you can do this part to get all that up too, and around your door and inside your oven. Now you could use a scrub pad, but you gotta be careful. Know your glass. Maybe do a little inconspicuous space, because my husband, I don't know what he used when he first tried to clean the windows at one point, and then he goes, oh no, I totally scratched our glass. This is why I always use a soft rag. All right, that's almost done. Now, for the end here, you've got all this yucky stuff on your oven. I recommend a shop vac if you have one. Those dry wet vacuum cleaners, that's what I recommend. So if you have one of those, just go ahead and vacuum up the extra. I would not vacuum with your regular vacuum. Honestly, I did that the first time, but then I realized this is wet and it's probably gonna get stuck in your tubes, and you don't really want that. So I would not recommend vacuuming it up with that. So depending upon how much you got, you can vacuum it up with a shop vac if you have it. You could use one of those little dust brooms. I'm gonna scoop all mine over here, and I'm just gonna try to get it up on my own today, because our shop vac is huge. So, there we go. Scoop that up. Once you get most of it all up, you're gonna get a fresh cloth and clean water to get the rest until you get it all the way clean. So, this one's full. I'm gonna move aside. If you can give a glance over that as I rinse this out really fast. And I'll just set that aside with my collection of rags coming behind you. Okay, so now this is just gonna be a clean rag with clean water that I'm using this time. And I really just, all I'm trying to do at this point is get all the yuck up so it's nice and clean when I'm done. If you do this with the baking soda and you think all of it up, and then you bake, see, I'm still getting more stuff up. You might find a light white film or powder after you cook the first time, and that's just baking soda. It just means it didn't get all up. So you can go a few times, and a lot of that will wipe up later as well. All right, there we go. And yep, there's some more yuck. All right, that looks lovely. And now I got a clean window and clean door. And again, this will work all over this entire oven, so you can do it all over inside your oven. So then I'm done. So then of course I peel up my vents, and I didn't get anything in between. A lot of people ask about in between. I have never had to do that yet, knock on wood. But I hear it involves taking apart your oven door, and that scares me to death. So I would maybe be calling for some help. Let's move to dish soap, but I will come back to the racks in a minute with the dish soap. So let's go over to dish soap. And my garbage is around the corner. So we've worked with baking soda and vinegar, and now we're gonna move to dish soap, which we all have because we do dishes. At least we think, right? Okay, so let's talk about what we could use dish soap for. Let's see. Okay, so there are a lot of choices. Vinegar and dish soap kind of go hand in hand, so you can have a few different choices with which one you want. So again, dish soap is also a base. You will hear people talk about mixing this dish soap and vinegar. If you take it, I am not a chemistry major by any means, but my husband, he's pretty smart. He's an engineer and he loves science. And my daughter, maybe she's gonna vouch for this too because she's in chemistry. If you mix an acid and a base, they cancel each other out. So all the effort you have working towards the acidity killing the germs and cutting through the grease, or the base cutting through the germs and cutting through the grease, you've just canceled them out, so now you're just pushing water around essentially. So you don't really want to mix them, and some people definitely believe in that. So you could put this in one of those scrub pads, and you can clean your shower doors with that as well. So there's a lot of crossover. Any of these will work. It's kind of whichever way you want to do it. So I'm just going to put my dish soap in my sink. It's been cleaned from the baking soda we did that a little bit ago. And then we're going to use, I've got a collection of dirty rags here. Let's add that one to it. And clean rag, it's the key to most cleaning is having a clean rag. So I will come back to, I'm gonna do counters last because that's a big one for me. So dish soap, your fridge, right? You got your fridge, you're gonna empty, we're just gonna do one. Let's see, what's gonna be my easy shelf? Probably this one. So we're gonna empty my shelf. You can do one at a time, whatever you want. And it really depends upon how bad your fridge is, right? So you could, this one actually pulls out, you could just wipe it down. You could wipe it and get the crumbs off first. Then take it out, bring it to your sink, wash it, scrub it, get the goo off of it, the crumbs, etc. Rinse it off. Now, depending upon what you want to do, you can either leave it in here to dry, or you can dry it, right? So I'm going to grab a dish towel so I can put it back in. And you do that to every shelf. You can do it to the walls, you can do it to the doors, you can do it to the base. But that is going to, again, kill all the germs, cut through the grease. Vinegar works too. So if you don't want to use the dish soap, squirt that vinegar in there, same thing. Both work just as good. You get a tough spot, baking soda. Now mine's glass, so I want to be careful with what I use to scrub it, but baking soda too. So any of those will work to get that clean. All right, so throw my groceries back in there really fast. All right, awesome. So baking soda to clean out that. Let's talk about, your oven door. I told you about the oven door. If you get really greasy, you can put some dish soap on that. I'm checking my notes here so I don't forget anything. Fridge, shower doors. I don't think I have one here. They have the little ones that you fill the handle with the dish soap with the foam thing on top. Use that in your shower. Take your shower, just put that in there. That works just as good. Or the vinegar. Either way, it's your choice. Whatever products you want to work with, mix and match. Let's talk about your oven racks now. I'm not going to throw these in the bathroom. That'll take too much time. So here's an example of one that is a little more dirty. Since it's night here, it's a little harder to tell, but if you get in close, you can probably see all the specks of grime. I did these a year ago, and they were pretty bad. Most of our oven racks get neglected, and they were kind of gross. So what you're going to do is use your bathtub. Put a towel down so that when you put the metal grate in your tub, it doesn't scratch your tub. So the towel will be big enough, like a big bathing towel. Set your oven rack on top of the towel, all of them. Just put them all in there. A half a cup of dish soap, pour it over the top, fill it with water just till it covers all your oven racks, and let it soak for 8 hours. Doesn't matter if it's hot or cold water because it's going to be cold by the time it's done. 8 hours, half a cup of dish soap. That's in a regular size tub. So if you're using something bigger, you'll probably have to adjust that. You can, if they're really, really, really bad, I do not know why this works, I'm sorry, but throw in 6 dryer sheets. It is the make or break it deal. There is something in those dryer sheets that is going to make the really tough stuff come out, because I was astounded. Mine were, like I said, black. So after you do that, 8 hours later, you're gonna lift them up. They're not gonna look any different. They're gonna look exactly like that. You're gonna be like, oh, that didn't work. But then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take those dryer sheets, or you can take a piece of tin foil or toothbrush. I used this thing. It's like a little SOS pad. And I just started scrubbing like that over the top. And you gotta get kind of in the nooks and crannies, because they're, this part's pretty easy, but you gotta get, around these little, flip it over and do the other side. But this is the one that I just did about a month ago, and we have cooked since then. But as you can see, if you look at them, this one's the one with all the specks, and that one's pretty clean. So, really easy. And again, tomorrow, so if you subscribe to my blog, if you grab that link and subscribe to my blog, you will get all of the instructions. They're all there with pictures, and this video will be saved there as well. So there's that. All right, one last thing for us as we wrap up the day. And again, thank you for being here. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments and share this. Sharing this is the best way for us to be able to keep doing these. All right, I'm gonna move that out of the way because I want my counters clear. We're gonna work with this one right here. So you've cooked. You've made a giant mess. First thing you wanna do, of course, is get some soapy water. But what you've done is probably cleaned up along the way. So you're wiping up your counters and you're getting all the, like this is goop right there. Getting all your crud up, getting all the finger in the oils and all the yuck off of your counter. Now what you're gonna notice when this dries, is streaky. Really, really, it's clean, but it's streaky. So a lot of my friends say, what do you do to make it not streaky? Well, now I've not washed anything in this water, but if I did, drain it. After you've wiped all the yuck off your table, all the yuck off your counters, get rid of this rag that you just used to do all of that, empty it out, barely fill it, doesn't need very much. Soapy water, clean, clean, clean soapy water, and a clean rag. The key to streakless counters and have them looking shiny and the best. Clean soapy water and a clean rag after you've cleaned up all the gook. So now I've got, they're all clean, they're wiped off, they're just streaky. Clean water, clean rag. You're gonna go wipe it up one more time. You don't need Windex, you don't need any harsh chemicals, just good old soapy water. That is it. Let it dry, it's gonna be crystal clear. So the key is really just clean water, clean soapy water, and a clean rag after all the guck. So get a second little batch of water and then they will be nice and pretty for you. So hopefully you like this. Subscribe to my blog, please, and you will get tomorrow's post with all of these instructions and this live attached. There's another link we put up. That is some of my favorite things to use. I think there is vinegar and baking soda. If you click that link, it'll take you to Amazon. Some of my favorite things that I use. So that's just in case you're interested. No pressure, as always with me. So thank you again for being here. Please send likes, please send hearts if you like this. Please share this with anyone. And I hope you all have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.